Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons & Dragons. And today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we are talking about the spell Lightning Arrow. I am giving this spell a B+. I'm not giving it an A because it's only usable by Rangers, but I really like this spell. I like these types of spells that are Ranger and Paladin-like spells. They all kind of have the same format to them. This is one of our third level options for the Ranger. Again, third level spell only be used by Rangers. It is a bonus action, requires concentration, and it lasts for a minute. And it's kind of a one-shot thing that you can keep in your back pocket. So later on, you can use your Hunter's Mark when you need to. But you don't want to use this and Hunter's Mark at the same. You can't, obviously, because it's concentration. So you kind of want to tether these out a bit. So it's bonus action, self, verbal, somatic, lasts for a minute. It's a dex save. So the next time you make a ranged weapon attack during the spell's duration, the weapon's ammunition or the weapon itself, if it's a thrown weapon. So if you're using a bow or a crossbow, then it's the bolt or the arrow. If you're using a hand axe or a thrown dagger, it's that. So the next time you make a ranged attack, that thing turns into a bolt of lightning. Make the attack roll as normal. The target takes 4d8 lightning damage on a hit and half as much on a miss instead of the weapon's normal damage. So I just want to look at this real quick. If we are using a longbow, longbow does a D8 piercing. So instead of doing a D8 piercing, that ammunition is going to do 4d8, but you have to hit. That's the only caveat with this one, is you have to hit. Or half as much damage on a miss instead of the weapon's normal damage. The piece of ammunition or weapon then returns to its normal form. So whether you hit or miss, each creature within 10 feet of the target must make a dexterity saving throw. Each of these creatures take 2d8 lightning damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. So if you hit, you automatically do 4d8 instead of 1d8. And then everything else around it within 10 feet has to make a save, a dex save, which is not the greatest, but it's not the worst. Or it takes 2d8. So there's a little extra damage that happens. Now you can upcast this. You can't really upcast it too far because Rangers only get up to 5th level spells. So when you cast this spell using a spell slot of 4th level or higher, the damage for both effects goes up by a d8. So it's 5d8 and 3d8, and then 6d8 and 4d8. So you can get this damage up pretty much, but it replaces the weapon's normal damage. So that's the weapon's damage, but it doesn't replace your bonus to damage. So if you got bonus to damages, those should still go in here. In addition, if you have other Ranger abilities that stack onto this when you hit, or you got other class abilities that happen when you hit, those should also take place as well, because it's essentially an arrow hit or a weapon hit or whatever. So I want to talk a little bit about those other things too that you can stack on top of this, and you can stack on top of pretty much all of these other kind of rangery type abilities. So I like the Hunter Ranger, and I particularly like the Colossal Slayer Hunter Ranger, because when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, the creature takes an extra d8 damage. If it's below its hit point maximum, and creatures are almost always below their hit point maximum, even in the first round after the first couple of goes from your players. So if you got levels in Ranger, I like the Colossal Slayer. That gives you the extra d8. So now that's not a 4d8 plus all your stuff. That is a 5d8 plus all your stuff. If you take some of the fighter class, then I would take Arcane Archer. I like Arcane Archer quite a bit. And you can take some of these other arrows that they get. They get two options. Once per turn, when you fire an arrow from a short bow or a long bow as part of an attack action, you can apply one of your arcane shots. Doesn't take an action. It just happens. So that's pretty cool. I like bursting arrow is okay. So the energy detonates after you attack immediately after the arrow hits a creature or the target, and all creatures within 10 feet take 2d6 force damage, plus the 4d8 lightning damage, plus all your bonus damage. If you're a Colossal Slayer, another d8, plus all the creatures around it in 10 feet are going to take 2d6 force damage and 2d8 lightning damage. This 2d6 force damage is automatic, and it goes to 4d6 at 18th level. I like Grasping Arrow. Creature hit takes an extra 2d6 poison damage, and its speed is reduced, and it takes 2d6 slashing damage the first time on each of its turns it moves 1 foot or more without teleporting. That's great. So it's going to take 4d8 plus all your bonuses, plus another 2d6 poison damage, and a d8 Colossal Slayer damage, and if it moves, it's going to take 2d6 slashing damage. All kinds of options for this, and of course there are rogue options, and when we're talking about rogue options, we're talking about sneak attack getting added on top. I do like the Assassin. So let's go down to Assassin. Arcane Trickster's okay, but the Assassin. So you have advantage on attack rolls against a creature that has taken a turn in combat yet. In addition, any hit you score against a surprised creature is a crit. I like that quite a bit. There are a few other ones. But all in all, if you stack all that stuff with Lightning Arrow actually does a decent amount of damage on its own, and it does secondary damage. And there's other things like that that Bursting Arrow from the Arcane Archer that you can get on here. Obviously, you're going to take the Arcane fighting style as well for the Ranger. All right, that's what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.